So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Gera Zainab and I work here at ESA Esrin at the Data Applications Division. So we're here today for a training session from the NOR webinar series. And as a very quick introduction for people who are not familiar with the NOR, so NOR stands for Network of Resources, which is an ESA initiative that promotes the use of cloud resources and platforms for Earth observation data exploitation. So NOR created this community of cloud providers that offer access to their services and help the users to work with the Earth observation data to build their own applications, be they commercial or non-commercial. And so one of the key ambitions of the NOR is really to bring the users to the data by giving them access to resource infrastructure services, but also to platform services. So what we're trying to do with this training initiative is really to help you to explore together the different platforms that are available in the NOR initiative. These platforms are actually all available in the NOR portal that my colleague Federico will walk you through at the end of the presentation. So you can go to the NOR portal and explore the different platform services that are available. You can discover them, compare them, and potentially see which platform is actually useful for your own purposes. And we also have a sponsorship process through which you can request sponsorship to be able to use one of the platforms. So I will hand it over in a bit to Madalena, who is going to introduce us to EarthConsole platform operated by Progressive Systems. Please, to the participants, write to us if you have any questions in the chat. We will take them at the end of the presentation in a Q&A session. And as I said at the end of the presentation, my colleague Federico will walk you through the NOR portal to show you the different sections and how you can request sponsorship if you would like to use EarthConsole platform for your application. So I hand it over to you, Madalena.
Thank you very much, Zainab. Thank you very much, first of all, for inviting us to have again this introductory session on EarthConsole during the ESA NOR webinar series. And thanks to all of you who have decided to join us today. I am Madalena Yesue. I am responsible for communications and partnerships for Progressive Systems, the company managing and operating the EarthConsole platform. So today I'm going to provide you with an overview on the platform, its key features and services. I will present some of its potential applications, some use cases, some examples of support services that we have provided to our users, and then I will walk you through the platform and through the request procedure for our services. So let's start by giving you a little bit of introduction on who we are. So Progressive Systems is an Italian company. We are based in Frascati, nearby the Center for Earth Observation of the European Space Agency. We have years of experience in providing services and solutions which facilitate the exploitation of Earth observation data. So our main partners and customers are mainly belonging to the research world. So they are institutions, universities, and research centers who need to exploit Earth observation data during their decision-making process for multitude purposes. Which can be social, environmental, or scientific. So we started from the assumption that the Earth observation community face some challenges. They face, first of all, the need for efficient computational solutions that can, on the one side, handle the scale-up to massive data processing, and on the other, that can increase the user's uptake of the processors and applications that they have developed. So to achieve these objectives, the Earth observation community struggles with some time-consuming tasks that can be data retrieval, that can be the processing, the setup of the processing campaigns, and of course the management and the maintenance of the IT infrastructure underlying these two activities, data retrieval and the data processing setup. So with these challenges in mind, back in 2006, we have collaborated with the European Space Agency to manage and operate the ESA Research and Service Support Service, which maybe some of you will know. It was a service that we have operated on behalf of ESA for more than 15 years, and that can be considered in a certain way the ancestor of EarthConsole. In this framework, we have provided support services to the research community with the need to use Earth observation data during the R&D phase of their project. The typology of support that we provided was mainly related to algorithm development and testing, processing campaigns on large data sets, and more in general, it was related to the generation and delivery of value-added information. So this service was concluded in 2021, but the competencies and expertise that we have developed as a company during these 15 years, and also some of the services that were available via the RSS service, have been merged into EarthConsole. Which is currently operational, was founded in 2021, and on the same year has been onboarded on the ESA Network of Resources Initiative. So let's see in more detail what is EarthConsole. So EarthConsole is a cloud-based platform that supports the development, testing, and hosting of applications or processors provided by third parties. Later on in this presentation, I will show you which are the target customers of our platform. So we provide this kind of support in a flexible and time-efficient way, thanks to the co-location of data with the processing capacity. So our ultimate goal with this typology of support services is to facilitate the access to Earth observation data and enable processing services. This is an overview of the typical EarthConsole users. So the majority of our users are universities and research centers. Just to give you a couple of examples, we have provided support to the University of Rome La Sapienza. We have provided support to the Italian National Research Council, the CNR. In terms of institutions, we have provided support to the European Space Agency, to some ESA projects. And we also have some users belonging to the private sector. So we have companies that have either provided their processors and have decided to onboard their processors into EarthConsole, or for example, we have also provided support to startups that needed to use Earth observation data during their pre-commercial phase. So they needed to get familiar with Earth observation data and understand how to exploit this data at their maximum extent. What are the benefits of using EarthConsole for our users? So the benefit in terms of time saving, because of course the platform is managed and operated by EarthConsole operators, and this eliminates the need for users to set up and maintain their own processing infrastructure. They have benefits in terms of storage saving. because users won't have to download and store massive amounts of data locally, because EarthConsole allows them to directly access data on the cloud. And finally, they can benefit from a reduced time to processing completion. As I mentioned before, the processing resources are co-located with the data, and this, of course, impacts on the data transfer, which is significantly reduced. And this allows a faster and more efficient execution of the processing tasks. Let's see which kind of services we offer in more details. So we offer, the first service is the service that we call Gbox, which is the integrated development and execution environment of the platform, suitable for algorithm development and testing. In case you have a mature application and would like to integrate it into our environment and scale up the processing capacity, you can decide to resort to IAP, the application integration service of the platform. Lastly, we have the PPRO service, which stands for Parallel Processing Service, to perform processing campaigns over a geographical area of interest and period of interest. I will show now the key features of each of these services. In a certain way, embracing all these services, we also have iShare, which is the e-collaboration environment of the platform, which is used to facilitate the collaboration among our users and enhance the sharing of knowledge among the users. So let's see into more details the Gbox service. So Gbox, as I mentioned, is the integrated development and execution environment of the platform. It provides a virtual machine where you can develop and test your algorithm and perform some analysis of Earth observation data. What are the key features of the virtual machine that we offer? So first of all, the platform, the machine, more specifically, ensures a high-speed network connection to the dataset offered by the DIAS, avoiding the costly remote download of the data. The virtual machine comes with pre-installed packages and software for Earth observation data exploitation. This means that it is ready to use, and it is ready to use from any location and with your own device. In addition, this virtual machine is quite flexible. This means that you can customize the amount of CPU, RAM, and storage based on your requirements. Just to give you an idea of the typologies of virtual machines that we offer, these are the 5 typologies that we offer by default. Of course, you can find them also available on the NOR portal. What it is important to stress is that in case you have different requirements from the ones listed here, I invite you to contact us, let us know your requirements, so that we can consider the possibility of customizing the virtual machine according to your needs. I will give you some example of applications of our virtual machines. So you can resort to Gbox, of course, to develop and test your algorithm and to perform small-scale processing. So in case, for example, you would like to check the intermediate steps of your algorithm development, you can resort to our service in order to correct any problems that may arise before running the next algorithm step. The virtual machine is also suitable for post-analysis and visualization. It is suitable for collaborative research because the machine can be configured to enable multiple users access. So in case you would like to work on the same project with your research team, on the same algorithm development, you can resort to GBox. Again, in addition to that, for example, in case you are a professor and are planning to hold a training on Earth observation, you can also use the virtual machines for education and training. Because the virtual machine can be configured, the virtual machines can be configured with the same settings, so your students can access the same typology of virtual machine with their own device and from their location. An example of a project that we have supported and that has been supported through the voucher available via the ESA is this project from La Sapienza University of Rome. So in their case, this project, for this specific project, they wanted to study the snow properties of the Italian Central Apennines area, which is a location particularly sensitive to climate change, which was the need of the research team. So in their case, they realized that in situ measurements of the snow layers were impractical due to the geographical extension and the spatial heterogeneity of the layers. So they needed an alternative method to monitor snow deposits, and they realized that missions such as Sentinel-1 could be a good fit for their project for their resolution, global coverage, and revisit time. For this reason, they decided to do this kind of analysis via our virtual machine, and for their specific needs, they decided to opt for an integrated development environment typology B. Now, in case you don't have an algorithm to develop, but you already have a mature application, and you would like to scale up this algorithm on a larger area of interest or period of interest, you can decide to integrate it into our parallel processing environment via the Application Integration Service, IAP. In this case, you will receive expert support by our operators to integrate your application into the PPRA environment. What are the key features of this service? So first of all, the migration flexibility, because in principle, any application can be integrated into EarthConsole. Plus, the burden is on us. This means that integration is managed by EarthConsole operators, so the whole process is followed by our operators. You just have to validate, of course, the processing results at the end of the integration. Also in this case, we have different typologies of integration. For us, it's very important to start with an initial assessment, so to verify the feasibility and define the typology of integration. The typology of the integration will be defined based on the efforts required, of course, by the operators to integrate your application. So after our assessment, we can either go for a standard integration or for a complex one. The timing that you see in the third row of this table are just indicative timing because they do not consider possible delays due to the interaction with the user, because of course this is a collaborative work that we have to do, because as I mentioned before, you need to validate the processing results during the integration process. So you can use this kind of service in case you would like to prepare your algorithm for integration. Of course, there is some kind of preparatory work that we at EarthConsole have to do to prepare your algorithm for integration. You can also decide to opt for this kind of service in case you need to share your processor with your team. So this is an important feature because actually the sharing of the processor is up to you. This means that you can decide either to share the processor once integrated just with your team, or in case you would like to increase the usage of your processor among the research community, you can decide to share it with all the users of the EarthConsole platform. This is up to you. You can also, for example, in the case you don't have your own application, but you would like to integrate an open processor, an open application into the EarthConsole platform, this is also feasible. So again, IAP is for integrated tools available online and migrate them into our processing environment. This is another example of application integration that we have supported this year. So the small baseline subset for MBSAT is a processor which was developed by IREA, which is an institute of CNR, the Italian National Research Council. It is a processor particularly useful for those of you who study Earth surface deformation because it generates soil deformation maps and time series from MBSAT data. So this processor was formerly available via the ESA-Grid Processing on Demand, GPOD platform. I'm sure that most of you will know this platform, which was closed back in 2021. But since this processor was widely used by the research community, IREA decided to integrate it into EarthConsole to make it available to researchers who need it. For this specific case, we decided to opt for a complex PPRO integration because there was quite a lot of effort from our team to integrate this processor. And I invite you to bear in mind this name, small baseline subset for MBSAT, because later on in this presentation, I will present an opportunity related to this processor. So in case you study soil deformation, I will present an opportunity to take advantage from this processor. Then the last service is the PPRO service, which stands for Parallel Processing Service, which is the hosted parallel processing environment of EarthConsole. The PPRO service comes in two different versions. PPRO, as it is, designed for massive data processing, processing campaigns that are completely managed by EarthConsole operators. This means that you will provide us with your requirements, so the geographical area of interest, the period of interest, the processor that you would like to use. We will perform the processing while you concentrate on your research, and we will deliver the results once ready. The second version is PPRO on demand. So the on-demand version of PPRO is designed for processing tasks which are independently managed by the user, by you, thanks to a web graphical interface. I will do a short demo of this platform later on. What are the key features of this service? Fast data processing. So our environment is based on a parallelizer engine, which divides the input data and operations into smaller tasks and distributes them over a set of computing nodes where they will be executed in parallel. And this enables us to process the data faster. Resources optimization and cost efficiency. So the cluster resources are managed by a cloud scaling engine, which adapts in a dynamic way the resources based on the workload of the cluster, ensuring that the right amount of computing resources is available at any given time. The last key feature is the catalog of ready-to-use processors. So in case you would like to resort to PPRO, we have processors ready to perform your processing campaigns on our platform you can choose from. This is, I would say, not comprehensive table of the processors available, which have been provided by research centers, institutions, and universities, which are the ones that you see here in the provider column of this table, which cover different thematic areas. Now, let's have a look at the on-demand platform. So in case you would like to perform a processing task by your own, you can request processing hours to use PPRO on demand. Once you log in into the platform, so this is the dashboard that you will see. You will see information about the available processing hours, the used ones, the task that you have submitted, and the processors available. Just to show you the processors, you click here in the left-hand side menu on the processors menu item, and you will see the processors available, the on-demand services available via the platform. In case you would like to launch a task on PPRO, you click on New Task. In this case, you see just the processors that have been activated for my account. I have access just to these processors. So before launching your task, I invite you to, for each processor, we have the possibility to access the service and to consult by clicking on the eye of information here, the user's manual. So it is very important that you consult the user manual before launching the task in order to avoid any error with the launch of the processing. So once you have learned more about the processor, the on-demand service, you can access the service. This is just a disclaimer informing me that I have less than 20 hours left. Let's close this. And you will see the map. So you have to draw an area of interest on the map. So let's make the example of here in Portugal. In this way. Here in the right menu, you see the missions available. We can just have a try with the cryosat mission. You select the start and the end date of your processing. So let's make the example of July, just as an example. You can keep these parameters as they are, and you click on search. So once you click on search, you can see the input data available for this request. For each input data, again, on the eye of information, you can have more information on the product details. So let's select 3 input products. And by going on the next page, you can see, you can set here the parameters. So in this case, we can call this task Portugal. For this demo, we leave the parameters as they are, and you click on Submit. This is again just a disclaimer. We can close this. Once you launch the task, you will see that the status of the task, this is the task that we have just launched, is accepted. So after a few minutes from the launch, you will see that the status will change from accepted to running. So let's wait some minutes. Let's see if we manage to see the status as running. So in any case, while we wait for the status to change, you will see this task that I have submitted before, which was completed. So from this dashboard, you will be able to check the status of your processing. And once succeeded, once completed, you can download the results. So you click again on the eye. Here you see all the details about your task. And by clicking on output, you see here this zip file that you can download with the result of your processing. So by going back to the presentation, so I would suggest you to opt for PPRO for medium to large scale processing. In case you have small scale processing to do, then I would suggest you to resort to the PPRO on demand platform that we have just seen. In case you have to perform systematic processing over a certain area of interest, you can resort to PPRO. You can also decide to use the processing results made available via PPRO or PPRO on demand on the virtual machine for post-analysis and visualization. This is an example of a project that we have supported, which has received a voucher again from the ESA Network of Resources Initiative. It is a project from the Delft University of Technology. This project aimed to compare two typologies of data from Sentinel-6 missions to evaluate their difference and efficacy in monitoring as well waves. So more specifically, the research team did not have enough resources to develop their own processor and to, let's say, perform the processing task by their own. So they decided to opt for PPRO. They asked for access to the FSR processor for Sentinel-6. The processing was managed by my colleagues of the technical team and were delivered to the team, to the research team of the Delft University of Technology once ready. So now that I've shown you all the services available via EarthConsole, how can you request the services? So to request the services, we have to visit our portal, which is, if I manage to, maybe we can do that from here, earthconsole.eu. So www.earthconsole.eu. This is our portal, and in case you would like to request one of our services, I invite you to follow this process. So you click here on the main menu, you see request service. You have, of course, to register in case you're not registered and log in on our platform. In case you would like to request a virtual machine, you click on Gbox, and then here on the left-hand side, you click on Request your Gbox. This is a form that you have to fill out in case you have to request a virtual machine. Why it is important? First of all, it is important because if you fill the form in all its parts, this helps us to do an assessment of your request and provide you just with the necessary resources that you need. In addition to that, this is also important in case you would like to request an ESA NOR sponsorship. because once you have filled out all these parts, we are able also to support you in the preparation of the NOR form. So what kind of information do we ask for? Of course, we have some information on the user and on the project. We ask if you are planning to submit an ESA NOR sponsorship. So I invite you to click on yes here in case you're planning to do so. We request information on the project. And at the end, we request information on the typology of machine that you need. Once you submit your request, we receive, of course, the form. We assess your request. Usually this is done within 5 working days. And then we will exchange by email and provide you with information on the next steps to take. Either if you're planning to submit a sponsorship via the NOR portal or not. So again, I invite you to do so in order for us to do a correct assessment and request just the resources that you need. So let's go back to the presentation. So the virtual labs. So, so far I have presented EarthConsole as, let's say, a generic platform. This means that the platform is flexible enough to provide support to all those users who do not find support through specific thematic platforms. This does not mean that we are not able to provide support to specific Earth observation communities. We do so via the virtual labs. So the EarthConsole virtual labs are virtual spaces hosted on our platform, offering processing services customized on the needs of specific Earth observation communities. So the key features of the virtual labs are the following ones. First of all, they are customizable. This means that they are set up based on the requirements of these communities. They are collaborative. They provide tools for sharing and collaborating among the users. And they support open science. We really push for facilitating the dissemination of scientific knowledge, of data, and of resources via these labs. For the moment, EarthConsole hosts 2 virtual labs, which are actually two initiatives coming from the European Space Agency. They are the ESA Altimetry Virtual Lab and the ESA Heritage Missions Virtual Lab. So, the ESA Altimetry Virtual Lab is dedicated to the altimetry community and offers customized processing services based on their needs. More specifically, if you subscribe to this lab, you can request access to the Salvatore family of processors. Maybe some of you already know this processor. Salvatore stands for SAR Versatile Altimetric Toolkit for Research and Exploitation. This is a set of processors which was formerly available via the ESA Grid Processing on Demand, and that was migrated on EarthConsole in 2021. In this table, you see highlighted in blue the processors belonging to the Salvatore family of processors. So in case you subscribe to the virtual lab, I will show you later how to do that. You can request access to these processors and perform processing campaigns with these processors. For what concerns the ESA Heritage Missions Virtual Lab, so first of all, a clarification on the heritage missions. Heritage missions are those missions, Earth observation missions, which are no longer operational. Despite that, they have acquired data for decades, which are of paramount importance in case you would like to study, for example, the evolution of a phenomenon over time. Because if you compare this data with data coming from operational missions, of course, you can have insights on the evolution of a specific phenomenon on our planet. In the case of this virtual lab, of course, the processor offered are based on heritage missions data. Since this lab has been recently launched, for the moment, we just have one processor, which was the one that I presented earlier in this presentation. SBUS for MBSAT, provided by the CNR, suitable for the study of Earth surface deformation. So if you remember before, I told you to remember this name because there is a specific opportunity linked to this processor. In fact, this is available as an on-demand service. And in case you would like to use this on-demand service, by subscribing to the Heritage Missions Virtual Lab, by default and upon its approval, you have the possibility to receive 100 processing hours to use this service. So, in case you are studying soil deformation, I invite you to do the subscription to this laboratory and use this service. So since it is the lab, the Heritage Missions Virtual Lab has been launched recently, we are also in the process of integrating, we are in the process of looking for other processors to be integrated as on-demand services via the lab. So in case you have an innovative algorithm technique to process heritage missions data, I invite you to let us know either via email or either via the IAP form on our portal by specifying that you request to integrate this processor via the Heritage Missions Virtual Lab, because you have the opportunity to have the integration for free. This means that HISA will select the most suitable processors, and the ones selected by HISA will be integrated for free by EarthConsole via the virtual lab on the on-demand platform. So I think that this is a good opportunity in case you would like to increase the use of your processor. In addition to the processing services, each lab offers an iShare environment, so any collaboration space for the users community. This iShare environment includes a repository of processed datasets. These are data processed by the community, which have been considered of interest for the whole community and have been made available for download. Each lab has its own thematic forum, which is useful to post or follow threads on specific topics, and has its own library. So on the lab's library, you can find a collection of papers, presentations, multimedia material that have been contributed by the community and that you can read, download, or consult. So how can you access the virtual labs? So let's go back to our website, www.earthconsole.eu. Again, from the main menu, you will see the virtual labs section. So let's see the Altimetry Virtual Lab. So to be part of the virtual lab, there are a couple of steps that you have to do. So in case you are not registered on our portal, you have to be a registered site member. So you have to register, log in, and then request the membership to the Altimetry Virtual Lab. It is done everything via this page. Once the membership has been accepted, you will be able to access the virtual lab. So I've just logged in. Once you access, you can first of all request the services directly from the laboratory, the services which I've presented so far. So the Gbox, the P-Pro with specifically access to the Salvatore family of processors in the case of the Altimetry Virtual Lab, iApp, and you can have access to iShare. So via the iShare, you can have access to the forum. So here you can see the topics posted by operators or by members of the laboratory. You can create your own topic. So this is very simple. Just include the topic title, the message here, and click on submit, and your topic will be visible here to the whole community. You can also have a look at the members and connect with them. So here you can find all the members available via our laboratory. If you go again on the iShare section, you can have access to the library. So here you see the library, and this library has been organized in this way following the request, of course, of the ESA Altimetry team. So here you can see journals and articles, conference presentations and proceedings, handbooks and manuals, or multimedia material. And you can have access to the dataset repository. As I mentioned before, this is a collection of data processed by the community that you can access and download directly from here. I will just scroll down a bit to show you the repository. The same applies to the Heritage Missions Virtual Lab. The overall structure is the same, and also in this case you can have access to the community. This means the forum, and see the members, the library, the data repository, and yes, something that I did not mention is that that our services have also a knowledge base. So in case you would like to have more information on each service, we have a knowledge base including information on each service and frequently asked questions. So here you have all the information in more details about our services. And that's it on my side. Thank you for your attention. I know that this is quite a lot of information. So maybe you need some time to digest all the information that I've provided. But in any case, in case you need further information, further clarification, I invite you to contact us by email. So for general information, you can contact us at info@earthconsole.eu. In case you need some more technical information, you can contact my colleagues of the support team at support@earthconsole.eu. You can visit our website and also our social media. We have a dedicated page to EarthConsole where we post news and information on the services, on the users, on our communities. So I really invite you to follow these pages and on our website. And that's it on my side. I mean, if in case you have any question, I'm available here, or again, as I mentioned, via email after this this presentation.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Madalena. I don't know if you have any questions in the chat. I have a very quick one. In the integration service, the application integration service, the iApp, you talked about algorithm preparation. Do you know what is included actually in this algorithm preparation step? Is it just data input formatting and metadata for visualization, or does it include maybe a parallelization of the code to make it run and scale efficiently in the cloud, or which is already actually available in the PPRO service? So I was wondering how much work is done during this this algorithm preparation step that is included in iApp.
So it actually depends on the application that you are planning to integrate. So I'm not part of the technical team, so I don't know in details about all the activities that are done to integrate it, but there is, let's say, a preparation to a porting activity that it is done in order to let's say, seamlessly integrate the algorithm into the parallel processing. And another aspect that it is very important is that you have to consider the application integration as a collaborative work. So even though the integration is done by our side, it is very important to collaborate with the provider of the application to validate the results every step of the way. I mean, I cannot provide you really with all the details on the technical part, but of course there is a preparatory work that is done by my colleagues.
Okay, thank you. And I was wondering, so for now you have two virtual labs, the Altimetry and Heritage Mission. If I am a scientist in a different thematic community, is there a procedure to create a new virtual lab?
Yes, I mean, thank you for this question, because I mean, the virtual labs for the moment are two, but they have been designed on designed on the needs of our communities. In case you have a community and would like to create a virtual space on EarthConsole, it is possible to do so. I invite all of you who have a community to contact us by email first, in order for us to have a better understanding of the requirements of your community. Then we can define these requirements and set up the virtual labs accordingly. What it is important to say about the virtual labs and in general about the work that we do at EarthConsole is that we follow an agile process. So we start from the requirements of the virtual lab, and then we iterate with the user every step of the way, so that the user can have full control about the final, let's say, design of the virtual lab, and it is sure that we respect really the needs of its users community. I mean, with regard to the virtual lab, it is not important, I mean, just to be like a researcher or, yes, someone belonging to a university. For example, also, we can think about education and training. In case you are a professor with, I don't know, class students, and would like to create a virtual lab specifically designed for students which are getting familiar with Earth observation, this can also be an option. So our services are very flexible on this point of view, and the first thing to do is really to contact us via email in order for us to understand the needs. And also, I mean, we have also envisaged the virtual lab option is also available via the NOR portal. So this is also an activity that can be potentially financed.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think we're running a bit out of time, so I will hand it over to my colleague Federico, who will walk you through the NOR portal and the sponsorship process very quickly.
Thank you, Maddalena, for your presentation. Thank you, Zainab. I will go quickly through the NOR portal. So let's start from the nor-discover.org webpage, which is the main access to the NOR portal. Here you have some information related to the network of resources, like the number of approved projects and providers onboarded. An important section of this website is the news section, where you have some news related to the NOR, and the portfolio, where you can access all the services available through the network of resources. By going to access it here, you will be redirected to a new web page where you have all services and providers, and you can search for what you are looking for. Let's say we look for EarthConsole, so we search here and we find the provider with all the different services. We have some details, the collections available through this provider, the provider help desk link, which is really important because we recommend you to contact first the provider in order to be sure that the services you are requesting via the NOR are really helpful for your project. And then by going to the pricing wizard, you will be redirected to a form that you have to fill out to ask for a specific service or services. Start with the project type. We remind you that only research, pre-commercial and educational projects are available for network of resources and ESA fundings. So let's say we want to ask for this specific service, we click on the tick box, and then at the bottom of the page we have an overview of what we are requesting with the price and two different options. The first one is to directly purchase the service from the provider by going to the provider website, or ask ESA for sponsorship by selecting if it is or it's not an ESA project. Let's say this one is not, and if you will or will not co-fund the cost. Then we click Ask ESA for Sponsorship, and we are redirected to a new web page where you need to put the project title, the name of the project coordinator, the work category, the email address, really important, it must be the organization email address. We cannot accept personal email addresses for NOR sponsorship. The project organization name, country, web page, and address. Then you need to put inside the form the project objectives, which are the final goals of your project, the methodology you are going to use to reach these goals, and expected results. Then, and this is why we ask you to first contact the provider, we need to see a justification for the selected service or services and the provider, and the description of the work within the cloud environment. This is really important because, as Zainab was reminding at the beginning of the session, the network of resources is an initiative to bring user to data and not the contrary. So we would really like to see how you're going to work within the cloud environment. The geographical area of interest of the project, if you are going to analyze areas related to region side, countryside, or city, and so on. And if it's or it's not the first time you have applied for the network of resources. If it's not, you will need to put a previous ID that you requested via the NOR. And if it was an ESA project, you need to put also the ESA technical officer name and ESA contract number. It's important to remind you that the non-ESA projects can be funded only up to 5,000 euros, while ESA project can be funded also more. But of course, you need to work on an ESA project for that. You have then an overview of what you are requesting, and the last thing is to indicate the expected date of submission of the set of slides. You need to put a month and a year. What is the set of slides? Is a PowerPoint-like presentation of 5 pages, more or less, where you state why the resources you requested through the network of resources were really helpful for your project. This is mandatory. We remind you that it's mandatory to submit the set of slides at the end of the project. And even if you didn't reach your goal, you still need to say to us how you use the resources and why they were helpful or not for your project. And if you want to sign up for the NOR newsletter, you need to click this tick box, and you must accept the ESA privacy policy. Then you need to export the sponsoring request in PDF. You need to sign it, and if it's an ESA project, you need to have it signed also by the ESA technical officer. And once it's signed, you need to email it to the NOR-sponsorship-request@esa.int. That's it from my side, and I leave the floor back to Zainab.
Thanks, Federico. Thank you. So please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions about the EarthConsole platform to Madalena, or about the NOR sponsorship process to the NOR team. We will send you a survey after the session for all the participants to, if you have any requests or remarks concerning the session or the upcoming sessions. Thank you, Madalena, for your presentation. Thanks, Federico. And we hope to see you in the next NOR webinar training session. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the organization. Bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.